daytodaysara and welcome to Day to Day Knits episode 18. I live in Knoxville, Tennessee. I am Portuguese though, so you might notice an accent. Today I am wearing the Sorrel by Wool & Pine, and I've used lots of yarn. I've never done a sweater this long, except maybe for Joseph when I did his cardigan. And this is, the main color is all Mondim. And as you can see, it goes from pink to marled pink, beige, and then a mustard yellow. And I also have used Rosários for the pink mohair up here. And I used Katia 50 Concept Shades Mohair or something like that. It's a very long name, I can't always remember. And I used it for white and then for the yellow mohair. So here where I am at the beige, you may notice yellow mohair, white mohair. It's very cozy, and since it's now literally freezing temperatures outside, it is perfect. Today is Sunday. It is an amazing 8:11 a.m. The day is going to be a sunny day, I think. Also, at the end of this video, there might be like 10 or 15 minutes of the marching band by the, well, of the University of Tennessee, because last night I went to the game. And I just love the marching band. I just love it. So I'm gonna put that there unless YouTube doesn't let me for some reason, like, I don't know, music or something. But I think that they would let me put it. So you can skip that if you want to watch the marching band. Okay, so just to talk about the sweater a little bit, I had to do some modifications right here. And now that I'm looking at it, I can't remember if this is backwards. There's a front and there's a back. It is indeed backwards. I'll have to change that after the video, I guess. It's fine, you can't really tell if I wasn't telling you. It's just that there's a portion of short rows for the chest area, but I don't have them here. I have them there. Anyway, let's move on. I need to put tags on the sweater so I can put it on correctly for the first time. Also, I'm wearing no makeup today, so that's a first for this podcast. I wore my makeup to the game. I wore my orange and black. And I don't feel like putting makeup on today. Plus, after we have brunch in about half an hour with my in-laws, Joseph's parents, I'm gonna go to work because I'm working overtime this weekend and maybe next weekend too, and so on. Maybe until December, we'll see. All right, hello everyone. I am right next to the brunch place. I had to change my sweater because this place, I always leave smelling of food and I don't want that on my Sorrel. But Joseph watched the episode basically live for the first time, and he said, well, I had no idea what I was going to hear. I think you need to do a little intro, and I'm gonna take this time to do that. There's also a wait at brunch of like 20 minutes, so here it is. It's gonna be, as it usually is, a little bit of what am I wearing, which is the Sorrel, which I think I'll either put either before or after this video. And then FOs, and these are going to be mostly Christmas presents. Really, you're all going to be Christmas presents. Booties for babies, booties for adults, and the Dona Amélia necklace. And then, what else? And then we're going to do whips, and that's going to be the Plum sweater. There's been some real improvement on that. And my blanket. And then I'll just talk about some cast-ons that I'm literally like swatching for. And what else? And just like a minute, if more, if less, I don't know, something of that nature. A minute more or less about just new purchases. It's gonna be truly really fast because I was in a hurry to get here on time, and now there's a wait. So, and then at the end, just lots of minutes of the UT's marching band for the game last night with Georgia. It was a great game. Unfortunately, we didn't score more. But I mean, that's life. Someone has to win, someone has to lose, because for the specific sport, I don't think they do any ties. It's not like soccer or the true football. Yeah, so that is it. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you're all well. And yes, so bye, and do keep watching. Have fun. Get some ideas. Alright, bye. So, FOs. If you remember, I had finished the Cable Me Softly slippers by Tinka Knits, and these are it. That's the back. There's a tiny short row heel, really tiny. Has cables and everything. However, Effie grabbed this one in particular, because I'll show you the difference between the one that Effie did not grab. The toes are perfectly fine. And the one that Effie grabbed and made a giant hole, and I had to use the leftovers, which is why it's important to have leftovers, just in case snacks happen and such. But she made a giant hole right at the toes. So I made it better, but you can still see where she grabbed some fibers. Anyway, and I've added the ribbon to the entire bow because I do not like doing I-cords. But basically, that's it. I just wanted to show you this. I had finished these last week, but since then, I've made a hole in them, and I have added the cute ribbon. It's not exactly the same color, but I think these look good together. Easy pattern to make. It takes only like a few days, less than a week for sure. And the other FO, which no, this is a true FO, is a Christmas present. And these are the Simple House Slippers by, let's see if I can say this correctly, Simone, Alexandra, Ærsøe. I'm gonna have to, it has letters that I do not know how to read, but basically it's, I believe, a Scandinavian name. But they're just house slippers. These are very, very good to make for Christmas presents. They're extremely fast. And they're supposed to fit, because there's not socks, they're slippers. They're supposed to fit a variety of sizes. So basically you cast on, and this is gonna be cast on, and then cast on, and at the end you sew those two together using the mattress stitch. And you're just gonna knit flat this whole part. So always, you know, knitting, turning your fabric, knitting again, makes that look. And then we're going to join them in the round in a super easy method that she says in the pattern. And then just knit in the round and then decrease for the toes, and that's it. If you know the person that you're gifting to, if you know their shoe size, then she tells you how to knit for that particular shoe size. You know, when you have to stop, then the decreases and all that. And I thought, and I think it comes in 3 sizes for the width. I thought it's super easy, super fast, and I only used half a skein of yarn, and this yarn is the Plymouth yarn worsted merino superwash solids, and the color is 77 slate blue. Slate blue? Yes, slate blue. And basically, using half a skein, I have enough to do another. So I still have some secret Santas that I need to prepare for, and I might just do another one of these for my Secret Santa. But highly recommend. I've actually put these on because when you knit for one size, the sizes that are closest to it will also be able to wear this. So if you're just off by a little bit in terms of shoe size, then it's gonna work. Anyway, I've tried them on. My foot is just, I think, a size bigger than the foot of this person. And yes, super easy. A beginner could do this. And then, well, the other one I forgot to bring with me. It's all the way over there. I'll be right back. So, last time you heard me talk about the Dona Amélia by Filipa Carneiro. And I used the Lindy Chain celery yarn. I've done 2 of those since. I did one last time. And since then I did one more. Basically just took me a day to do that one. That second one. And I've already wrapped them and they're ready to be gifted for Christmas. But in the meantime, I did this one using the leftovers of, I think, Modern Cotton Decay, Rose Island or something, or can't remember quite the color name, but it's the one that I use for my flutterbud shorts and my flutterbud shirt. And super easy. I've worn it to work. I put a picture of it on Instagram the day that I wore it. And while the pattern says to do an I-cord, then another I-cord, and then you're supposed to tie a bow with the I-cords, I do not like to tie I-cords. I do not know how it feels, and I do not like to make I-cords. So for the ones that I'm giving as a present, I did a little chain net out of using the crochet needle. And ooh, look at this pretty light. Very nice. Not to filter people. So that's what I did for them, and then I put for them a little marker. I think I'll show you all the markers that I got. Basically, I ordered markers so that I could include them as a Christmas presents for, you know, these necklaces that I was making to gift on Christmas. And then this was all from Rebecca's knitting room. It's a store on Etsy. And if you go to my Instagram, to the photo that I'm wearing this right in the morning before I went to work, I have tagged her Instagram on the description for that. But anyway, I'm just using these row markers and she gifted me a stitch marker, which was really nice, and it's one of my favorite colors, and she just sells those in different colors on her website, so if you're interested. Anyway, moving on. For mine, I did not add the chain net because basically I just did it, and this is like a 4-row repeat. That's 4 rows. It's knitted like that, and it's then using a chart. All you need to do is knit, purls, knit 2 togethers, yarn overs, how to cast on and how to bind off. That's easy. But I just did the length that I wanted to wear it as, which is, let's see, if I tie this, I only have 20 more minutes before I have to leave the house. Basically, I wanted to wear this in the summer, but I also want to be able to wear it with a work shirt and then just have my work shirt collar just come slightly over it, but still have the lace showing very well at the center. So I did this length. And I think that's it as far as FOs go. Let's see. I have my computer right here to check. Cable me softly. Symbol House slippers, and Dona Amélia. Yes, so now we can move on to my Plum. It's super exciting. Let's see. I have it inside this super cute bag. It has some catacorns, basically cat unicorns, and it says Nitrovert, but willing to discuss yarn, which is 100% true. Okay, so here I have a needle sticking. Okay, here is how it is going. I have finally finished the color work and the lace, and I have modified the pattern. So if I can just secure my yarn, I have needle stoppers, and I should, because I don't want anything to escape. But let's see. So for this sweater, which is a v-neck sweater, one size fits all, but that doesn't, you know, it's never true, you know, one size does not fit all people. So basically I just changed my swatch to be a little bit tighter, but basically you start with your v-neck ribbing, for which you use a 10 of different needles, I think like 4 different needles, needle sizes, and you start with the smallest, and you just slightly increase. I'm not sure if that's really necessary, but okay, my ball of yarn fell. Okay, and then you move on and you do 2 charts of lace. Okay, then you do 1 chart of color work, and that's where you have your plums and your leaves and your branches, and then you're supposed to keep increasing and do your chart of lace, right? 1 more. And then I don't know if you're supposed to keep on increasing or not, because at this point I'm not looking at the pattern anymore. Why? Because I was able to try this on when I had it in different needles that were not these, because these are not, you know, the circumference was obviously not enough for me to try it on, but I tried it on and I realized that at the end of my color work, I was like right about here. So it was perfect for me to separate for the sleeves right there and not do any more increases. So I realized I had to do another chart of lace, and I just decided I was going to do that chart of lace for the body. I don't know if I'm gonna do it for the arms or not. I am aware though that for the arms, which is where you do your cables while doing ribbing at the same time, I understand that that is supposed to go all the way down the arm after you did the color work. And I think that's just what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep doing that for the arm because I think that's a beautiful detail. So since I was not doing any increases, you might be hearing the shower. That's Joseph getting ready to go to brunch. I only have 15 more minutes. And also, sorry for coughing, it's a mix of me being out in the stadium for like 4 hours in the cold and holding this very close to my face without it being washed first while I'm allergic to it. Let's see, what was I saying? I was saying something and I forgot. In other news, I'm going to be getting a little haircut. I'm going to get new glasses because these are old and they're broken actually. Be able to see. Oh gosh, dusty. But there's a nick right there and one right there. And apparently I'm getting blinder as one should with age. It's just expected. That's just the way life is. I forgot what I was saying, so I'm just gonna move on and say that now, basically for the body, I only have knits until I get to the bottom where I'm going to do some ribbing, possibly that much ribbing. What else? For this brown, I think my skein was 50 grams. And I ended up using not, like maybe around 16, I think it was 16 grams. So if you only have little scraps, you don't need to buy a 50 gram skein to do the color work. Your scraps might be good enough, just weigh them, I'd say. Of course, depending on your gauge, you might want to change your gauge like I did for it to be smaller. You might not be changing your gauge, so you'd be using more than 16 grams of yarn. And of course, this also depends on your yarn, and you might want to change your gauge for your sweater to be even bigger, because maybe the pattern just isn't large enough, like wide enough for you. Or for, you know, whatever you're looking for. It doesn't have to fit your body perfectly. You might just really like baggy things. So basically you will not need 50 grams, but you might need a little bit more than 16 grams. You might need 20, 25, 30, I don't know. And yes, I'm really excited that I'm now finished with the hard part, and I can just take this everywhere once I put blockers on my needles so that things don't slip out. And I can just take it and knit it, and it's gonna be great. Also, for the lace part, there is a part right here that doesn't have eyelets or knitted togethers, and it is instead 3 pearls, 3 knits, 5 pearls, 5 knits, 3 pearls, something like that. Basically, you end up having a little bit of knits, but sections of 5 or 6 pearls at the same time. If you do not know the Portuguese knitting method, which is a similar knitting method to other places in the world, mainly Latin America, and I think, I'm gonna say Romania. Those methods you knit with the yarn coming either around your neck, or in this case, since it is a very rustic yarn that still has some veggie fiber, and it would scratch your neck if you kept having a string of yarn going around there. I use this. So basically you pin it like, oops, like that. If it wants to go through. I'm wearing mohair, so it might not want to go through. Gosh. Alright, there we go. Basically you have a little pin, and as you can see it has a little hook. So you just hook your yarn onto this. You can buy it online. I bought it from the Retrosaria store. They will ship it to you wherever you are in the world. And they will also ship yarn if you want to do that. But basically, holds it like that. And the method of purling becomes ridiculously easy and fast. You just have to flick your thumb, and I'm going to show that later when I show you this, what is it called? Swatch. I'm doing a swatch. Anyway. Where I use that method, because the whole thing is ribbing, and I have a hard time purling continental. It causes a lot of stress on my hand, and I don't like to hold the yarn and do that, because in time it also starts causing some pain in my hand. So I just use this method where I flick it. And I did do the knits also in the Portuguese method, which is not my preferred way of doing it. But in this other video, excuse me, in this other video that I did, basically I combined the Portuguese method for purling and the continental method for knitting. So it's extra fast once I actually start getting the hang of it, because the section that I filmed was basically I discovered how to do this. I just was trying to be as efficient as possible with the less minimum wrist movement and finger movement, so it would cause less pain in the end, because you don't have these like repetitive methods of doing that or moving your fingers and your wrists. So I still need to perfect that, but you know, that only comes with experience, and since I'm doing the whole thing in ribbing, I'll be getting there. But I'm extremely pleased. Where's the bag? Oh, there it is. My other project that I'm working on is the Cozy Memories blanket, and for that I'm just using sash yarn. And today I need to do, last week I did the brown, which is the Saragosso color for the Mé-Mé 20 that I'm using for the Plum. And this time, I used the white. Now I have to use the brown. That's the brown. There you go. It's showing very well. It's a dark, dark chocolate brown. But it is blended with like just little fibers and a little vegetable matter that make it not be a completely solid brown. And I'm just going to show you my closest ones. It's coming out fantastic. That's what I did last week. Oops, that's the wrong side. Sorry. That's what I did last week, and that's the one that I'm using for the sweater. It's a super curly yarn. And the week before that, I used my, this is all from Knit Picks. It is the tweed in fingering weight, city tweed, I think is the name of it, and garnet heather, I believe. And I did a section here, and I combined it with Mohair, but I did a little section here that only has Mohair. Just see how cool that is. And that I used for my Gondor vest, which was a test knit for Fable Knitwear. She has beautiful vintage-like patterns. Basically today, because today is Crappy Sunday, I'm using that Mé-Mé 20 Saragosso color. Okay, and that was it. You know, it's a blanket. I just do a square every Sunday, and that's it until I get a giant blanket that fits our bed, which is a king size bed. It's an IKEA one that kind of has storage under it. It's great. Let's see. Now I'm going to show you the swatch that I am working on for a while now, because I started with a needle that was too small. I'm swatching it around, so it's a little mess. Okay, let's see. So I started using, this is Magpie Fibers. It's a Superwash yarn, but since this is for the contrast racer bra or something like that by Jessie Made, and I'm going to be wearing it next to skin, not with a bra under it, because basically that will be the function of this for me. It will be like a bra that I can wear in the winter. So I started with zeros, I think. It was either zeros or double zeros. Because usually with Jessie Made's patterns, I'm off for the needle size a whole lot. I'm a very loose knitter compared to her. But I guess not for this, probably because doing the pearls, I am a tighter knitter than I am doing the knits. But that means that I had to change the size of the needle. So from here more or less to there, I changed to 3 because I was like 10 stitches off. But with the 3, I'm still like 2 stitches off for the swatch, so now I'm using 5s. It's very cool to swatch using a interchangeable set of needles, because you realize you're wrong, you can keep using the same cord, you just switch your needles. And that's about where I am. So using the 0s or 00s, I'm pretty sure it was 00s, I was knitting the way I usually do, which is I knit continental, and then I grab the string of yarn and I purl doing this movement, just like that. And I was like, well, I decided to try the Portuguese method for the Plum sweater, and I thought, you know what, this thing is gonna be half pearls, so let me try it. And I think the Portuguese method is really good when you have big parts of pearls followed by big parts of knits. But if you're doing purl knit, purl knit, purl knit, basically the time that you lose using like knitting, because it involves just slightly more movements, it's going to take you the same time as if you were doing that for your pearls, assuming that you're not a very fast purler. So that's why I decided to, I was like, why don't I use the knitting method that I used for continental, and then for purling I just use the Portuguese method. So I tried that. Basically I just need to practice a little bit more, but it works. And maybe you'd be curious about how that works, and so just, you know, pay some close attention to the video. But basically, if you learn different methods of doing things, you can just keep on improving yourself and improving your speed, and just doing what's most comfortable for your hands and your fingers and your wrists. So basically this is going to be for my razor bralette, and then I'm going to try and work for this next week on 2 more swatches, because on December 1st I want to cast on some bulky weight sweaters. So I'm going to be using, for the sugar plum sweater that I'm going to be knitting at the same time as my mother-in-law Sherry, I'm going to be helping her with that, because she's never done like a full-size sweater. She did a t-shirt that fits perfectly. It looks like it's made for her. But I convinced her to make a very, like, a bulky weight sweater, because then, you know, it will be faster and she has something warm to wear that she made herself, and that's really cool. Alright, so this is simply wool. It is 100% wool. It is from Knit Picks. This is the bulky weight, and this is, the color is Wanda, which I'm not sure if it is actually related to the sheep itself. All the colors are names that start with the W, so I'm not sure if it's the color of the sheep. I like to think that it is. And I'm going to be using this probably at the end of the sweater. It's bottom up, and then I'd like to have some white by my face. But I'm going to cast on with this, and for the rest of it I'm going to use my advents. I'd like to cast on December 1st, and with it I'm going to be using this silk mohair. It's tin silk mohair, and it's just a beautiful dusty rose. I think these will go really well, and maybe at the top I'll start transitioning the mohair to the white mohair that I used for the Sorrel. I have some needles ready, and I'm gonna be casting it on. But I have a lot of Superwash sock weight yarn. Some that I bought on sales, basically almost a year ago, and some that I got with my yarnable boxes. And this winter I'm realizing I don't like wearing Superwash on my feet, because this may sound gross for some people, but I have really cold feet, so I always try to wear wool socks basically all year long. Just if it's distracting me. But really cold feet. Like literally I have the heater on at work almost all year long because the office is too cold for me. So I have this like space heater pointed at my feet. But you know, Superwash, it has like a plasticky treatment, and I can tell that the socks are way less breathable than if it is 100% yarn that is made of 100% wool yarn, or very close with just a touch of nylon. So I decided that I'm just going to combine a lot of my Superwash finger weight yarn. Fingering weight. And then a few others that are not fingering weight. I'm just gonna add those there. But the idea is, this is a sweater, it's by Park Williams, and I forget the name of it. I think it's something pull. It's a pullover. It's one of our pullovers that has lots of different colors. But basically, you just combine all of the yarns that you want to use. All of them. Into a bulky weight sweater. Mine is going to be, as you can see, in shades of white, yellow, orange, and pink, and with a touch of red and burgundy here and there. But I'm really excited. Basically, you just put all of your yarns together until it forms the bulky weight, and it is top down, I believe, and it's a raglan sweater, which I love. Now, looking at her photos, the neckline is around where the bottom of the collar is here, so I prefer that. And Superwash feels really good close to skin. Like, I was rubbing it on my forehead, see if I could do a hat with it, and I could. So it's gonna feel good around my neck too. And so I'm thinking of just casting on something that's like that, because I really like the fit of the sweater around my neck. Especially, you know, if you're doing bulky weights, presumably it is for an extremely cold day. And so it would make sense. I'm all tangled. It would make sense if you're trying to make it as warm as possible, and so I'm gonna keep it as close to my neck as possible. And that's what I'm gonna do for this. I hope it feels well, and I think it's gonna be really cozy, and I'll get to use a lot of yarn, although it barely has made a dent into my. And I'm gonna use those shades of colors. I have other Superwash, like this one, that has shades of blue. And I'm almost done talking. But Joseph is telling me it's time to go. But it has barely made a dent on my sock yarn. I have lots of Mondim here, and then I have like one Superwash option in case either my brother or Joseph would like a pair of socks next year. And then I have one that I love the color so much. I really want to make a pair of socks with it, even if I don't like wearing it as much as I like other yarns. And then I have just 2 more that I got specifically for designs because I just fell in love with the color and it just really inspired me. Now, to spend 5 seconds on my acquisitions. I bought this beautiful yarn from an indie dyer. I think it's Moon Wild Lilac. She's from Colorado. This is Baby Surrey Alpaca, 74% and 26% mulberry silk. It is 50 grams, 328 yards. The color is Snow Melt. It says, this yarn is lovingly hand-dyed and I recommend hand wash for all my yarns. Do so in warm water and dry your finished items flat. Her website is wildlilacmoon.com. And it's just a white with different shades of an orangey yellow and pinks. And I'd like to pair it with this Simply Air by Hiko alpaca. This is 19% nylon, 81% alpaca. I'd like to pair these two with, hold on, this, and make a pair of super cozy socks. This is Mondim, which is 100% wool. I think it's gonna be a really sturdy, soft sock. I'm really curious as to what the swatch is gonna look like. It's gonna be clearly yellow, but it's gonna be a little bit muted with these and hopefully get some of that curl. Anyway, this is a lot and I am now done. I am ready to go for brunch, fully dressed, ready to go to work after that. And that's it. So I think next time we'll see each other will probably be maybe Vlogmas. And then for the Vlogmas videos, I might be incorporating this into a Vlogmas video every other week. We shall see. I'll have to make a decision on that, but I'm thinking of doing that. And I think that's it. So I hope you all have a great couple weeks. Have fun, do lots of knitting, do your Christmas gifting if you're doing some, do your cozy sweaters if you're in a place that is cold, and your socks. I'm going to be entering Sockmas. You might want to check that too. It's by Nitty Natty. As well as entering this cowl by Caddy Jacks, and there's another one, but I forgot what it is. Sorry. Anyway, I shall see you very, very soon. Bye.
The orange and white flags are the official flags of the University of Tennessee. And now, the prize selects the greatest football fans in the country. It's great to be a Tennessee Ball. Volunteer fans use the Okamoto march. Southland extends a big orange welcome to our guests from Georgia as they play their fight song. This year, the pride of the Southland Band celebrates 152 years of great traditions. Here's one of the oldest Tennessee traditions, the spirit of the hill. Okay, ball fans, it's time to show your big orange spirit as the pride forms the power team for Tennessee. Here's your drum major, Julia Boylan. Assistant Director of Dance, Dr. Mohair. Assistant Tutor Director, Martin. Departmental coordinators are going to come into the law room. Head Major Ed Kaylee Kelly. Graduate Assistant Smith Cooper, and Tom Micah. I'm Sergeant Joey Stewart. Now, more than ever before, we're all proud to be living in the greatest country in the world. In a special tribute to the USA, here's John Philip Sousa's Stars and Stripes Forever. Ladies and gentlemen, today, we proudly salute you, the loyal fans of Big Orange Country. There's no doubt that Tennessee fans are very passionate about their teams and are simply the best sports fans in the country. To honor the fans of Tennessee softball, please welcome Coach Karen Wheatley. And for the fans of Tennessee baseball, please welcome Coach Tony Vitello. Now we ask that all Big Orange fans join in singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." One more hit for Coach Weekly, Coach Vitello. Now to all the loyal fans of Tennessee basketball, please welcome Lady Ball head coach Kelly Harper. There's 3 seconds to go. Let's see if Tennessee can make that last second game-winning shot. Another round of applause for Coach Kelly Harper. Formation, please welcome your 2021 SEC champion Tennessee soccer team and SEC Coach of the Year, Brian Pensky. With a 3-0 win over Arkansas last Sunday, they took home the 5th overall SEC Troops Tournament title for the Big Orange and the first since 2008. And to the SEC champion soccer team, do us proud of the tournament. There's just no doubt about it. Tennessee sports fans are the best fans in the land, which makes it easy to stand and proudly say, it's great to be a Tennessee Ball. Ladies and gentlemen, the University of Tennessee, pride of the Southland, marching band.